everybody. Welcome to Draining the Swamp with my lovely co host, Arthur from Ease Your Mind, and Meldor from Aloha Shirt Psychic. And I'm Shari, Voices from the Swamp, in case nobody's figured that out yet. Um, and we are here tonight to do some political and or world event readings of things happening and going on. If you have any questions, please put them all in caps so that my poor blind eyes can see them. And Arthur doesn't have to put his purple lenses on to read the screen. And Mel doesn't have his face in the camera.
I'm following on my iPhone, so that's why if I'm looking down, that's what I'm doing.
There you go. Let's see, a little bit of housekeeping to get started here. We have, if you're interested in keeping up with the computer forensic searches that are happening, we have Election Truth Alliance, which is working on, they're actually working on the recent Tennessee vote as well. And then we have smartelections.us. Both of those are nonprofit organizations. So they gladly take any and all donations that anyone may want to make to them. They also are always asking for help for people who can do computer stuff, and whatnot, just for the extra assistance. And of course, we have our wonderful Androniki skincare. I'm waiting on I'm waiting on my dry skin serums that I'm out.
I just did Joanne.
Look beautiful. I have plenty of the face. Yeah.
Every time I say Shari, my cell phone thinks I say
And of course, we have Otter Spirit, which I'm wearing some of their little mini beads bracelets today. I'm waiting on some new ones to come in, which I can't wait to see. And so if you are interested and would like to check out every bracelet they sell, part of that sale goes to supporting the nonprofit of saving the wild sea otters of Monterey Bay, which almost went extinct. So that's a very good thing. And then, of course, we have our
which I will donate $100 to.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. I will give you their contact information. We also have Trish James, who has as Arthur calls them, the creepy kids cards. She's got her new forecaster deck out, which is like an upgraded God, my brain is just not functioning tonight. It's an upgraded predictions deck is what it is. And of course, there is also my friend Jules, who has Jules Handcrafted Designs. She has her own Etsy shop. She makes beautiful, beautiful jewelry. She uses real gemstones, real gold, real silver, nothing fake or, nothing like what the current occupant of the White House uses. She uses the real thing. And then we've got, if you would like to contact Arthur, you can reach him at www.arthureaseyourmind.com, or you can go to his YouTube channel where there are more links that you can follow. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share on Arthur's channel. And then we have Mel's channel. His website is meldor.com. and also his YouTube channel, and which is Meldor Intuitive Consult.
Just go Meldor Aloha Shirt Psychic. You'll find it.
Aloha Shirt Psychic. That's it. Or you can call him at 847-590-5411 to reach him. Um, let's see. Mel's got a trip going to the Danube, um, May 10th through 20th. Do you still have seats open for that, or is it sold out?
The Danube one deck, Vista deck, is sold out. I've got some cabins on the bottom deck, the cheaper. That's where I'll be staying. It's cheaper, but doesn't mean, just smaller cabins. And then on the horizon, there's cabins available, which cost more. So I do have some openings there. And this is going to be an incredible trip. And I've got openings for Iceland, which is starting to sell out. That is in August. And that is
Land of Fire and Ice.
That is going to be to view the eclipse. And I did Iceland this year, and it was incredible. And then in September, Galapagos. That's going to be really cool. I had lunch with somebody today who's been to the Galapagos, and she used to be a tour manager. A tour manager or a tour director is somebody who goes on the tours and kind of oversees. They oversee the local tour guides and all of that. And she's done the job for years, and she was telling me how gorgeous the Galapagos was. So
awesome. And then we have coming up on the 15th of December, Arthur and Val Divine Insight Zoom event. Do you have any openings left on that?
It's the 13th.
Was the 13th? Okay,
yeah,
I'll have to correct that.
I think there's one she sees. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to Val. But...
Okay, well, go to dragonflycrystals.store to see about getting tickets for that. And of course, they're doing the big show in March where they're going to actually be at the Golden Nugget Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. And you'll actually get to see them face to face in person, get readings in person.
We'll just have cutouts.
They'll just wave from the balcony above. And so that would be quite exciting. So again, go to dragonflycrystals.store to get any information for that. And for a Cajun reading, as Mel likes to call it, you can email me at swampvoices@gmail.com. And I found out Saturday that when my son tells people he knows or that he works with what I do, he just simply says, "Oh yeah, no, my mom's a swamp witch." And I'm like, okay, that kind of works.
I take that.
I'll take that compliment. Thank you very kindly.
And complimentary.
And as Mel knows, I was running out the door Friday because my buddy Julian was playing Friday night. I like to froze my took us off sitting there watching him play, but it was well worth it. And even if it was cold as hell on an indoor outdoor / club area where the bands play, there's 3 walls, but the 4th wall is open to the street, so it gets real cold and or real hot up in there depending on what time of the year you go. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And anything else y'all want to throw out there you got coming up that I missed or forgot?
I'd like to know, how do I get the Trish James cards? Seems like everybody else has got a deck from me. I feel like...
Oh, I'll send you a link to her website, and you can go in and order them. So,
perfect.
Matter of fact, I'm going to write that down because if I don't, I will forget.
And I've got this on everybody because it's just reminding you of how cold it is in Chicago.
Let me go turn the air conditioning down here.
Yeah, right.
Just kidding.
Middle fingers. It's really
read between the lines.
Yeah, it was really cold last night. It's supposed to be in the 30s tomorrow, but freezing rain. But this also represents The ice is melting. I bought a t-shirt, and I'm going to give one a month to my members. So if you want to join my channel, just go on my channel and join. And your name will go in the kitty to get a t-shirt, large, I said them all large, that'll say ice is melting with a big peace sign in the middle. So
Nice.
and
Yay.
what gave me the idea was because there's two young men here in Chicago, and they're homeschooled. Their family's very religious, and they go around exposing where ICE is going to be and where ICE is going to be arresting people, and they're very, very active. And in fact, they're homeschooled, and they showed their family praying, and part of the prayer was to please end this tyranny with Trump and stop all of this hate going on. And so to me, that's what Christianity and religion should be about, is helping each other and speaking up against injustice, specifically during this holiday season, but any season. So this idea came, ice is melting with the peace sign. So it's cold here in Chicago, but let's hope ice is melting. I can take this off.
Wayne says that it's 7 degrees and dropping in Vermont right now.
Oh, goodness.
And hi, Wayne. I haven't seen you in a while. And Clarence, and Maureen, and Liz, and Amy. And if I start calling out everybody's names, I'm going to be here all night doing
I have a poem. Could I share it with everybody real quick?
Yes, sir, you can.
Okay, I had lunch today with our friend Patty Pernini. Patty was a tour manager, tour director for many years, and she worked for my husband worked. And she's still working part-time, but she wrote this back in 1994. So I'm called a group leader. I get the groups together, and when I get my groups together, if I get 15 or more people, I get a free trip and a little commission check. And so we were talking about what it's like to be a group leader or a tour manager, being on the road. Patty did a lot of trips here in the United States. I do mine abroad. But she wrote a poem about it. And it talks about what we do and kind of it's just so apropos. So people ask about my trips, and I don't want to go on about those, but they ask me what my job is. So I thought I would share this, if that's okay.
Go for it. Yes.
She says, Patty, this is for you. I travel all over this great USA, riding a bus day after day. I tend to my flock as a shepherd would. I care for their needs just as I should. I wear so many hats, my head is in a spin, and all the while I'm sporting a grin. I play mother and daughter and nurse and teacher. I'm a friend and a shrink, and some days even a preacher. It's very hard work, some people would say, especially for so little pay. But when a tour comes to a close and my group is smiling from their heads to their toes, it makes the job worth it all. When my passengers say they had a ball, it really makes it all worthwhile. There's just one thing that would make it better, which was why I'm writing this corny letter. Since last year, I've traveled 100 days, and I think that I'm due for a raise. I know if I were paid a bit more, we'd all have a better 1994, was this when she wrote this. And she shared it. So she says, for the new year, I wish everybody the best. And she says, I hope you grant my simple request. But the way she wrote this is exactly the things that we do on the tour. We're therapists, we're a little bit of preacher, we're psychic, we wear many hats. But our job is, and she says it all right here, and this is what makes it all worthwhile for me, is when a tour comes to a close and my group is smiling from head to their toes, it makes the job worth it all when my passengers say they had a ball. And that's why I do it.
There you go. There you go.
I thought I'd share that. I thought it was really cute.
Nice. That's cute.
Great. And one more little plug for me. I am just a little over 600 subscribers away from hitting my 10,000. So please, 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 if you're not subscribed, please go and subscribe. It's free. Make sure you subscribe to Mel's channel, who just, didn't you just go over 100,000, Mel?
Yeah, I've got 111,000 now.
111,000. Arthur just went over 100,000. You can see his beautiful plaque behind his head there. And because there you go. Frame it out.
Mine's at my other office.
I feel like Carol Merrill behind door number 1.
I was not here, but imagine it's in my office at work.
So Mel's looks just like Arthur's. They send the same plaque. They just put different names on them. And eventually one day I'll get there too. But for now, I'm just shooting for 10,000. And I will be a very happy camper. So
eventually one day you'll get there too, Shari.
Yeah, one day. May not be this day, but one day.
Everybody hit the bell, the notification bell.
Yeah.
Thumbs up and subscribe.
That's right.
And also, everyone double check to make sure you are subscribed. There have been people that said they're subscribed, they found out they're not anymore. So double check that too.
I suggest people do that at least once a month. Go through your regular subscriptions and make sure you're still subscribed, because YouTube says they don't unsubscribe people, but they unsubscribe people.
Yeah.
And then people who are subscribed for a long time, I just don't think they I don't know. I don't think they unsubscribe, but I think their algorithm just unsubscribes them. I want to tell everybody, get a reading from Shari and from Arthur. They're wonderful. And
Thank you.
Treat
and from Mel.
I'm just Mel.
You definitely get one from Mel. That's right. So because he's wonderful too. 11 degrees in New York. God, y'all are making me cold. It's bad enough here, and we're just in the 30s.
Right. I got my dog. Here's what she does when I'm doing. I don't know if you see her, but this. Here, Lucky.
You're this sweet baby. Lucky.
Look. Here's what she
Lucky,
does.
Lucky.
She wants her
She
rub.
was playing with her Santa Claus earlier, so
Yeah, she's a sweetie. She still got it here. It's her Santa Claus pickle.
cool.
She's always got a toy in her mouth. So I thought everybody might like to see Lucky. And if you see me going like this during a video, it's because Lucky is here pawing me and wanting me. Here she is. There's a Luckabuck. Look, Lucky. Can you see?
Here's that pretty girl.
Look
at that face. Oh, my goodness.
Look.
Is she not gorgeous?
She is a cutie. Right. Oh,
she's
okay.
Like, yeah.
Can you give me a paw?
You started something, Dad. Don't start. You're not going to be able to finish.
See, look at her. She knows chin. Lucky chin. She's not going to do it now. Lucky chin.
No, of course not. She's on camera.
Chin. Good girl. Good chin. You're a good girl. When I touch my leg and say chin, she puts her chin on my leg, and now she's gonna keep giving me the chin because she wants me to rub her. So
that's it. She's like, don't stop now. You started this. You better finish.
And you say happy holidays to the nice people? Huh? You can say happy holidays?
If she said that, you'd fall out of your chair.
She's nudging me to pet her. So.
Well, I come home every evening to both cats literally sprawled across my bed. My son says, yeah, they do their playing in the morning, and then they go get in your bed and they stay there the rest of the day.
If you hear something squeaking, it's her squeaking her toy. She's always got a toy in her mouth. She doesn't chew them up, but she's got a whole thing of them. And she just got this.
Hi, Marby, and hi, Amy. Yep. So let's see here.
I'm starring things for you, Shari.
All right, cool. Let's get going here. Let's start out. Let's start off with Laurie Lutrup. I'm sorry, Laurie. I'm sure I screwed that up, but forgive me. Will Idaho governor race be won by a Democrat in 2026? Idaho governor's race.
I just heard they're going to go purple.
Governor's race in Idaho. Go to the Democrat.
That's what I picked up.
All right, I'm getting a big maybe. So the energy is just not there yet. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. But I feel like there's a really strong possibility it could. And yeah, they could turn purple really easy. So let's let's see. Uh,
I get it's close.
Todd, I'm sorry.
I think it's very, very close.
Yeah, cool. I think just about all those races are going to be close because
Hmm.
people have had enough. So, um, okay, let's see. Todd wants to know. Greetings from frigid Michigan. Um, are we going to dig into Kushner's crimes? Eventually, yeah, they're gonna all be put under the microscope.
Arthur
That's
and I
what I
got the bobblehead.
I was going to say the same thing. Little bobbleheads here,
yeah.
because what he
Well,
was doing, in Russia was against the Logan Act. You know, he's not,
Yes, it absolutely was. And also,
and he's
when
getting involved in the Paramount Warner Brothers thing.
yeah,
and
Netflix.
Russia, when Trump got when he was supposedly negotiating with Ukraine for his peace settlement, it came directly from Putin, and it was translated directly from Russian into English, and that's what Trump proposed, saying that Trump proposed it, but
Right.
he
Yeah,
did,
it was
and
for
that is
Google.
impeachable. That's also impeachable, by the way.
Yeah.
It's against some
well,
act.
I pulled air turbulence, which is upheaval and chaos. So yeah, they're gonna be looking at the upheaval and chaos of them
Taken by
taken by
force.
force.
Yay. Here's one that I want to put up if it's okay. I think this is important because it brings up a question. I'll let you go ahead. It's not your show. What am I saying?
How many more states are getting in on the gerrymandering game?
Many of them, I think.
A bunch of them are. Yeah.
Virginia,
But
they're saying 10-1.
who says 10-1?
Virginia.
Virginia.
That's what I thought. But here's my question. Okay, so SCOTUS says that Texas can have their gerrymandering, that it's not racial, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so Texas has the part of the anatomy, the unmitigated gall, to file a lawsuit against California because California put it on the ballot to redistrict and, whatever. Now it's going to go, if it goes to the Supreme Court, what the Supreme Court said with Texas is that it has to go through all the lower courts first. But we all know that that's going to take years, and it'll take way until after the midterms. So that's why they
But the
did it.
way Leo wrote the decision with Texas, he mentions California.
I'm sorry, say again?
In what Alito wrote, he mentions California in it as well.
And what did he say?
I don't know. I don't have, but paraphrasing, it was like, do it here. It's just like, what California's doing. So I feel that California, I still feel is going to be able to redistrict.
Well, my question was because they said that it wasn't racially biased in Texas.
Politically voted. It was politically motivated in Texas.
Right. I get that. My question is, will they find some little twist to say, albeit it was okay in Texas, but because California did something a little different, that you can't do it, or that Virginia can't do it because it's a little different?
I can see what you're saying, but I don't feel it can go through, because if it's for political reasons, that's why Gavin Newsom put out, well, if Texas is going to do 5, we'll give them back 5.
Yeah.
It was all politically motivated.
I'm just because this court is so far up Trump's behind.
But also,
And
California, like Tishy's saying, California voted for it. Texas did not.
Bingo, I get that. But I'm
Yeah,
wondering if
exactly.
the court will try some kind of little sidestep and some little nuance to twist it around. I'm not saying they will, but this is a question people are asking, and I thought it was apropos.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and to stick with the Supreme Court flavor of questions here, Lilith brought up the Supreme Court is looking at possibly giving Trump free reign to remove the heads of regulatory bodies because he's not real happy that they're doing their job and not what he wants. And so these are positions in the federal government that are held by lifelong civil service folks who are doing the job no matter who's the president or what's going on. They're in there to do their job and they don't get political about anything. And he's not real happy with that because he can't put some of his sycophants in there to run some of these agencies. And so they're bringing it to the Supreme Court, who's making noise that, yeah, they're going to give him permission to do that. And at this rate, and this is just what I keep picking up, if the Supreme Court keeps going in the direction it's going in, they're not only going to all wind up getting replaced, but the vast majority of them are all going to wind up getting impeached and or just charges against them for breaking the law. I mean,
I see 2 Supreme Court justices being impeached and 1 resigning before it gets to that. Now, I don't know. That's probably after Cittadini is not in office and after the House and the Senate turn. But, I just want to say one thing, that the Supreme Court, they're going to give Trump free rein on this. Yes. But once Trump is gone, and once I think Newsom is going to be president, once we have another president, a Democratic president,
yeah,
the first executive order they're going to make is overturning all of Trump's executive orders. They're going to hire people back that Trump unfairly fired. They're going to reinstate regulatory bodies like the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, Department of Education, all those things Trump dismantled. So it might look like he's winning a few battles, but he will not win the war. Everything he's done, like what is in this question, will be overturned. And it's going to be overturned a lot sooner than later. I think within the next 2 to 3 years, maybe sooner. Let's hope. So, and part of his karma, if he's around that long, is after the midterms when the Dems take over the House and the Senate, he's lame duck. He already is becoming a lame duck president. And that is the worst thing for a totalitarian wannabe dictator. They can't stand to lose their power. And that's exactly what will happen to Donald Trump and Shady Vance. And I see some of his cabinet members leaving and many of them being prosecuted. So
in handcuffs.
There you go.
yeah,
Sliders. Right?
exactly. Well, I mean,
But also, what do you feel about the what they're going to vote for with the citizens' birthright citizenship?
Well, the thing with that is, let's face it, when Barron was born, Melania wasn't a citizen here. She was a resident. I don't think she was a citizen. She could have been, but I don't think so. But even so what would that do to Barron? The Constitution clearly says people born here, born in this country, are U.S. citizens.
Right.
I think that maybe the Supreme Court decided to hear it, maybe not because they're going to vote in favor of Trump, but because I think they wanted to put it to bed once and for all. That's what I pick up. I think people that are born here are citizens here, and it will stay that way.
Okay.
What do you all think? Because I want to say something. If they do that, then people are going to be protesting in mass. It's not going to be good.
Well, when I was looking at it, I kept on feeling, if you're already born here, what's one thing, but from here forward, if a child is, an anchor baby, they will not be considered they'll call it an anchor baby. They'll not consider that a American citizen moving forward.
Call them a what baby? I'm sorry?
An anchor baby.
Anchor baby.
Where they accuse immigrants coming in and having a baby so the baby becomes an American citizen.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, the baby would become a citizen, but they wouldn't stay here under Trump, right?
Well, I pulled a few cards, and the first thing I got was no, they're not going to pass it. So here's hoping that that stays true to form. And then I got from money and power. Well, yeah, that's one of the things that they're trying to do. Um, I also got power flow energy. So this it's all a power grab of being able to stop legitimate kids that are born here in this country, and then to be told no, you're not a US citizen because your parents don't check the right boxes.
Or
I'm
one
sorry.
parent, or even
Or
one.
one parent doesn't. And then I finished out with unfolding drama, scandals, because if I'm not mistaken, I think that could be Donnie Jr. and them may not would be legal if that's the case. Because I don't know if Ivana was a U.S. citizen yet when she had at least her oldest, if not the first two. So we'll have to wait and see. But I
The
mean,
court's taking it up to finally put it to bed. But I want to tell you something. If we're wrong, and if they vote to do what Trump wants, then the Supreme Court decides to do what Trump wants, it is going to cause protests in this country like you've never seen. And even if they vote for what Trump wants, which I don't see they'll do, at some point it'll all be overturned. Once
Yeah.
Trump is gone, once
yeah,
this dictatorship is gone, I see a new court. They're going to uphold Roe v. Wade. The new court is going to say presidents do not have uh, full
absolute
immunity,
immunity. Yeah.
absolute immunity. Because Trump could do anything and say, I could do it because I'm presidential power. I get absolute immunity, which he's trying to do. And furthermore, I see them starting to uphold the rights of people who are born in this country who are citizens. And not that many people, when people say anchor babies, that is something Trump has invented. Granted, there are probably a few people who come here and have children so their kids can be citizens, but that is select few. Most people
I
who
was
came.
just saying the word. I didn't.
No,
I
no,
don't
no,
mean
no,
to derogate it.
no. I get that. But he's doing this. But the people that came here to have children so their children could be citizens are very, very, very few. Most immigrants that I know, my grandparents included, came here because they were looking for a better way.
Right.
They
Exactly.
were looking to give themselves a better life and their children a better life. That's why they came here. That's what this country is founded on.
Yeah.
And
My grandparents passed through it, and both of them went to Ellis Island.
right. So, even
And
if
to go along with that, they're now ICE are showing up at naturalization ceremonies to arrest people before they can get sworn in after they've done everything they need to do to
which
become a citizen.
which by the way is going to go through the courts, and the courts are going to say you cannot do that. You need to free these people. And then ICE is going to give the middle finger to the courts. And what I see coming is the courts being able to have an enforcement arm to say you're in contempt of court and we have the power to enforce our decision. Because right now it goes to the federal marshals and they're not doing anything because Trump controls them. So
Well, Kristi Noem's in big trouble with the judge. She said she defied the judge and said, "Well, he's an activist judge. We don't have to listen to him."
what do y'all see happening to Kristi Noem? I know what I
Bye-bye.
see. That's exactly right.
I see her. Bye bye.
Handcuffs and
Well, I feel Trump's
cell
going to.
bars.
I think Trump's going to throw her under a bus. It was not my decision. It was Kristi Noem. There's going to be
It's like she bought all those Spirit jets and they didn't have engines.
exactly. There's going to be a huge rip between those two.
Internal adversary. Yeah, to say the least. I mean, she's I think once they start digging into all of his cabinet members and his picks on all of that, what did we get? Ooh, betrayed, backstab.
Backstab.
Oh yeah. I think that once once authorities start digging into the corruption of all of those that have been brought in with the current occupant, that it's going to go down into some deep wells that we haven't seen since the 40s, you know? So I think
Yeah,
it's
but
going to be quite eye opening for a lot of people.
and you realize that there was a boy that they deported, child, and he is just a kid, fourth stage. He was in had brain cancer, fourth stage cancer, and they're saying, oh well, and they're trying to make like poo poo like it's nothing, and he's an American citizen.
I mean, I guess
Yeah.
some, very few people come here to have an anchor baby. They come
Oh,
here,
I
like
know.
I said, because they want a better life for themselves and their children. I think very few people abuse the system. Just like with rounding up our Latino brothers and sisters, it's like, oh, they were the worst of the worst. No, they're not. Recent studies have shown that maybe only 3% of them had some sort of criminal charge in the past. Okay. And most of those were misdemeanors. The rest of those people have done absolutely nothing wrong except they were in this country without documentation. They've broken no laws. They've worked here. They pay taxes. And so
Yeah,
they're not the worst of the worst. The ICE people that are beating these people up, treating them like cattle, rounding them up and sending them to concentration camps, those are the worst of the worst.
It
hmm
just came to light last night. I saw an article on it where they pulled over and arrested some Somali woman and proceeded to beat and rape her multiple times during the course of the evening that they held her in lockup. And she was an American citizen. She was of Somali descent, but she was an American citizen. And so it's like, there need to be, in my opinion, serious consequences for these people who have, it's one thing to take a job because you think you're going to help get rid of the bad people that are here. It's another thing to go to this extreme of just letting the worst of the worst have a badge, and which they don't show, and a gun, and let them loose on society. I watched a video over the weekend of some woman literally getting run off the road on the highway and drug out of her car and arrested because her she was driving her boyfriend's car because hers was in the shop, and her boyfriend, I guess, it has overstayed his visa or something like that. She was a nurse. She was on her way to work, and they drug her out of her car. And fortunately, some people filmed it, um, and they had to release her within a couple of hours. But still, it's like to go through that kind of terror just because you're driving down the freeway and you haven't done anything wrong. Um, that's that is just so Hitleresque of what he did to folks. And it was probably a lot worse than many people realize because they didn't have social media back in those days to tweet about it every 5 minutes. So um, anyway, it's as far as I'm concerned, there is no jail bad enough, no hole deep enough for these people to get put in for the crap that they've done. Personal opinion. Um,
they're going to eventually they're going to be rounding the ICE people up. I tell you that. That's what I keep on getting.
I
is
see that, Arthur. I'm glad you said that because I've been saying all along that a lot of these ICE people are going to be arrested for brutality,
Mhm.
for abuse of power, and they're going to say, "Oh, I was just doing my job."
False imprisonment, kidnapping.
I see something like war tribunal or a tribunal, uh, and these people coming to trial for it.
Well, I've been saying all along, if they're getting paid, they got their social security number, we know who they are.
That's right.
It's going to come out. Well, they'll try to destroy some of that. Why do you think these ICE people, sorry, slip of the tongue, these ICE people are wearing masks and sunglasses? So you don't know who they are. But
because they know what they're doing is illegal.
Correct.
And immoral.
That facade will stop. And it's going to come out that a lot of these remember Proud Boys, a lot of these remember ultra right-wing movements. A lot of them were people
militia.
Well, yeah. But guess what? They're going to have to pay the piper for this.
Yep.
So.
Exactly. It's not pretty what's going on. I like it as a potato said, late President Jimmy Carter predicted that the current occupant will be declared an illegitimate president. I agree with that completely. And I think just about anything and everything that he's done.
He just said that he was an illegitimate president.
Yeah, he did say that. So it'll come out once Trump is gone. Unfortunately, it'll be once Trump is gone. But.
Oh, good.
That's it. Sheila's asking, we haven't talked about Jenny Thomas for a while. What is going to happen to her? Ka-ching, ka-ching. She's going to get those little bracelets that she just loves so much. It's not going to be pretty.
She'll get more than Martha Stewart did.
Yes, she will. Yes, that was good. And it ain't going to be for making pot roast, okay?
No. Well, actually, she funneled some of the money to, for the buses for the January 6th people to get to Washington. I'll never forget watching an interview with her, and she said something really horrible. And even the person interviewing said, "Do you realize how nasty it is what you just said?" She goes, "Oh yes, that's why I said it."
Yeah, she's wackadoodle is
so
my terminology for that. On Labor Day
I
weekend,
kept saying, if they get rid of gay marriage, let's get rid of interracial marriage, Clarence.
Yeah, Love versus Virginia. It's not going to happen. No, because that applies to them.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Shari.
Yeah. On Labor Day weekend, they tried to traffic an entire plane of children out of the U.S. Who knows how many haven't been caught? People have gone missing over.
My psychic light bulb went on with that, and I'm seeing whistleblowers coming forward saying that there are these camps that nobody has known about and some of the horrors that go on there. And people are going to be up in arms about it. There's a lot of leaks coming. This is going to be leaking like a sieve. It really is going to be.
Well, it reminds me of his first term when they snatched all those kids and took off with them, didn't have names of parents or numbers or who they were or anything like that. And there were a couple of reporters who were like following up on leads where they literally found a woman who had like 10 or 15 of these kids that they were trying to move them like in the middle of the night. They would move them from one location to another location. And it was a couple of journalists that were following the leads on this. And they actually caught her in the middle of the night, shuffling these kids, waking them up in the middle of the night. And they're all like zip tied together so that they can't escape, and hauling them from one location to the other. And when the reporters confronted her about it, it got a little scary there for a few minutes. I mean, because I was like, y'all need to be a little careful. They turn around and unalive you while you're asking them questions. So, I mean, this all ties into mass child trafficking and slave trafficking of women and children. Greetings from Frigid, Michigan.
We read that. We were
We,
bobbleheads.
we did
Okay,
this one.
if there's any that I'm
Um,
doing, okay, I'm
let's
just going to
see.
put them up. Will let me know. We know
Let's see.
get voted into the Senate. Let me see here.
Annie says that, hi, beautiful people. I heard John Roberts is possibly in the Epstein files. Is that true? Are any members of SCOTUS in the Epstein files? Love this trio. Well, we love you too, Annie. Thank you
I'm
very
getting
much.
I'm getting a no on that.
I'm not feeling that either.
Yeah, I'm not, I mean, never say never. Maybe it's a possibility, but I'm not picking anything up with that at
You're just picking
all.
up stuff from the
On
floor.
cards. Um, uh,
What goes to the floor comes to the door. That's what they say when I'm doing cards. If you drop one, what falls on the floor comes to the door. I put another question up, Sherry. I don't know if
okay. Will the USA eventually use antitrust laws to break up huge corporations and maybe those who have a lot of mini corporations, like a lot of franchises? Eventually, yes. Um,
Well, it's like what they did to Ma Bell.
yeah,
yeah. And for the longest time, the law was one entity, be it a person or a business, um, could not own more than, what was it, like two or three uh, uh, companies that, like, TV stations, radio stations, newspapers, whatnot, uh, uh, within a certain distance of each other. Whereas now you've got these corporations that come in and just buy up willy nilly. I mean, you can drive from coast to coast in this country and leave it on one station, and you're going to get the same people at the same time doing the same
Well,
thing because it's been,
it's like Sinclair.
yeah.
yeah,
They give the talking points. In fact, somebody had taken one night of the news from all these different channels, and they had the same script.
Right, exactly. All right,
yeah.
here's a good one.
Barbie, hello at Fabulous Trio. My question is about if 50 Cent is lobbying against Diddy's pardon. Also, after this documentary that came out, how well will Diddy's kids be? Um,
He's toast.
well, I did. Yeah, he's cooked. I mean, as far as his kids, I'm not sure.
There, there,
I don't
there's
know how many kids
special
he
action for
has.
the kids too. I think it's two boys,
Okay,
but
hopefully they get into protective custody and
they're,
get the
they're
proper.
old. They're old. They're not little kids.
No,
Oh, they're not little kids anymore. They're adults now.
No, one of them was accused of not doing some nice things to a girl.
I will say it this way.
Mm,
It's it's the old cliche. Many of their gooses will be cooked, and I'll leave it at that.
Unless he's going to be the spokesperson for, like, Johnson's baby oil.
yeah, who had that on their bingo card? I
Yeah,
mean,
1,000 bottles, please.
They're in big trouble.
And then he said they got it at Costco, and Costco said, we don't sell that.
They're in big trouble. All right.
yeah, they are. Hi, Sherry, Arthur, and Mel. My question: did Tennessee woman Afton Bean actually win in beginning of December? Thank you all. That's that Tennessee election that just happened where the Republican won. And I know Election Truth Alliance has already come forward with some results that they got information from, where there were a couple of counties where there were actually more votes than registered voters in that county. And so it's like, okay, that math ain't mathing. Um, uh, so we'll have to wait and see. I know it was a big shakeup because Trump won that
Like,
particular county by double digits, like, 20, 30%.
and now it's
And this guy won it by a singular, like, what was it, 6 or 7%, I think.
yeah,
That's a big drop off.
yeah,
So
but it's still a win for the Democrats,
It
even
still is, you know,
yeah,
22 points.
right. Here, I want to bring up Jasmine Crockett again, if that's okay. It
Yeah,
says
sure.
hmm
Crockett just announced she's running for Senate in Texas. Do you have any chance of winning? The answer is yes. But why
yes,
can't she run for the House again?
because they got rid of her district. They gerrymandered her district away.
So they gerrymandered her district, so that means she can't be a candidate in the next district or the one, because you still have to have a Democrat and a Republican running in the district.
Right. Well, you have to live, I think, within a certain area of where the districts are, and they got rid of her
But
district.
also, Colin Allred decided not to run for the Senate. He was going
Yeah.
to run for Congress.
But I'm
And
not
so
understanding this. Why can't she just run in the new district? Because the district she was in had to be gerrymandered into something, right?
I think
Yeah, I
she's going
don't
to be
know
more
how that
powerful.
works.
I think she's tired of the House, and I think she's going to have more say and more pull in the Senate.
I
Yeah,
agree with all that, but my question is more of maybe an
I
operation.
don't.
logistics. Yeah.
They don't teach civics courses anymore. But she's running against Cronin, so I think she's got a good chance.
I do too, and I
Yeah.
see her winning. I'm just curious if they did away with her district, and then what district would she now live in, and why couldn't she run in that district? That's my question. If she
Yeah.
wanted to do
But
that.
I don't know how it works. To be
I
honest with
don't
you,
know.
all the details.
Yeah, I don't know how that, like Arthur said, I don't know technically how that works, but for whatever reason, um,
If anybody knows, let us
she
know.
decided
Yeah,
to.
but Colin
I mean,
Allred's
she
going to be
may
running in her
already be a
place for Congress.
strong Democrat in whatever district she's in now. So
I'm
He's
sorry, Arthur, say again.
Colin Allred is running for District 33, which he was part of,
Oh, I
and
see.
so it's like Colin Allred's going to run for House. They feel she has a better chance of beating Cronin than
I still think the
Allred.
Democrat. I think the Democrat will win the House too. That's my point.
Yeah. Well, I think the Democrats are going to be in the House before the midterms.
Some redistricting.
I got justice summoned accountability.
I think the
So
redistricting
yeah,
is going to bite them in the rear end because they're thinking that Republicans might win, but I see at least 3 Democrats winning those districts.
See, the thing is,
Yeah.
the more they redistrict, the more they
Screw
do you call it?
themselves.
It's like soup. They put too much water in it. It dilutes it.
Right, exactly. That's
Yeah.
a good
And so something that could have been a 17 plus state or district is now 2. And Tennessee proved this woman can beat. If they only have like 7, Democrat
Right.
can win.
So I still see if Texas might have gained 5 more seats, they think, but they're still going to have elections. And I
Yeah.
see Democrats winning in 3 of those new districts. That's my point.
Mhm. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And there's a question here about, will James Tallarico win in Texas?
I don't
And
see it.
And also, Jasmine Crockett, also the district that they gerrymandered her to is so red, she thought she may not be able to win. So that's another reason why she went to
I
the
still
Senate.
see 3 Democrats picking up seats in Texas in the House.
I agree with you. I'm just saying you.
No, I get it. They just put them in red districts, but I think a lot of people, even in red districts, like in Tennessee, have had it with Trump, and I think they would vote blue just because they've had it with Trump.
Oh, just like in Virginia, just like in Georgia, just
Right.
So
So at some point, I see Texas going purple. Anyway,
oh yeah, for sure. Okay, Pippi 807. ICE is here in the Twin Cities. Do you see anything positive coming up with them leaving? Today they loaded a plane with 8 van loads of people cuffed and shackled.
You
That's
just
a
got to
lot.
shake your head, you know? Well, people in the Twin Cities are getting tired of it too, and they're going to do there what we're doing in Chicago, and that's go on the lookout for ice
Yeah.
and have ice.
And while it's and while it's important that people film uh, ICE doing what they're doing, it may start becoming more beneficial for, if there's just like a wall of people between whoever they're trying to target and ICE. I mean, you have 20 people standing there with a phone and recording, that's great, but 20 of you could stand up and maybe protect that person to keep them from getting handcuffed and drug off.
Well,
Um,
even the woman that won in Arizona, that Mike Johnson wouldn't swear in. She was at
yeah,
a restaurant, and all these people, I started coming in and everything. She went out there, see what's going on. They pepper sprayed her, and she said, "I'm a congresswoman." They didn't care.
Yeah, they didn't care. They said she was
yeah.
impeding and interfering in their investigation, but she's going to file a lawsuit against them,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and they're going to be indicted. Maybe not tomorrow at 2:30, but at some point in the future for assault, and that might be no, be assault, I think. And
She got
guess
pepper
what?
sprayed.
Those charges are going to stick. So, this incensed her. And the other thing that bothers me about it is that they did that to her. However, uh, the other thing is that notice how long it took Mike Johnson to swear her in, but how quickly they swore
Next
the guy
day,
in. Right, right. And he's, oh, well, we weren't recessed then. Which brings me to my point. What's going on with the Epstein files? Where they were supposed to have been released. Where are they?
the 14th.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
The 14th.
I will bet you $1 to a donut they'll try to find a reason not to. The DOJ will try to squelch something. How much you want to bet?
Mark is saying you Subway subs against ICE. I said, Subway should have 2 for 1. One for you, one for the National Guard. Or ICE.
Well, and it's we keep seeing the current administration um, do these really horrific, ridiculous responses. And then when people push back against it, they get all up in arms about, oh, why are y'all being so mean? Well, excuse me, you started this fight. I'm going to finish it.
Well, what
So,
they do is they just do something over here to take everybody's minds off of it over here. But that's not working anymore. The deceit, divert, distract, attract, that ain't working. That
Well,
ain't working.
just like what my guides told me was they already knew who the person was behind the pipe bombs.
Of course.
And they released that to get the smoke off of everything else.
But it didn't work.
No. And he ended up being a Trumper.
Bingo.
Blow up in their face.
It didn't work. And I think there's more involved than just him, but they're not saying anything because they were probably also Trumpers. Okay. Here's one.
Joan Baker, will the people that were blocked from being sworn in for U.S. citizenship in Boston by feds for being high risk ever be sworn in? I am thoroughly disgusted.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
It'll go through the courts, and the courts will say swear them in. And what does high risk mean? I know what it means.
Besides people, certain country, the only people that Trump says that he wants to be able to come into the country are the white South Africans, period.
Right.
He doesn't want anybody else.
And why? Because they're white.
Because they're facing genocide, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I haven't heard that in South Africa. So,
well, it's not true. I mean, everybody should go watch, Cabaret, and it's so equivalent to what's going on today.
Oh my God, it certainly is. I've been reading a lot about, I've studied the Holocaust for years, and my father was in World War II, and I've studied, how Hitler came to power and Mussolini came to power, and the same thing that put them in power is the same thing that's going on now. The difference is they're trying to bully us that speak up and put us in jail and use the system against us, but it won't work because we have our voices, and guess what? Our voices will be heard and our voices will win. That's what my guides tell me.
Yeah. I like what Raymond put. ICE equals indefensible criminal enterprise.
Yes.
Yes, I agree with that one completely. T-Rex Granny. Oh, I love that name.
Oh, sorry.
T-Rex Granny. If Hog's breath is removed, who will replace him?
Somebody
Mo,
equally,
Curly, or Joe, or Shemp.
someone equally as incompetent.
In depth.
I mean, maybe they would actually put in a military person to run the military, but I
No.
wouldn't hold my breath on that. They'll go to Fox News and they'll just pick another host.
Now they're calling it the
Give them the
Department.
job.
Now they're calling
Department
it,
of War.
but I see it renamed again once Trump has gone to the Department of Defense.
Well, it is still technically the Department of Defense because they can't change the name of a department just because they decide to give it a new name. They have to go through Congress through several steps to get it approved to change a name. That's why some recent legislation or response to something, and I don't know what it was, I didn't catch the whole thing, but they were evidently he got pissed off because they had to list it in this document as the Department of Defense. And he was mad because they didn't put the Department of War. And they were like, we can't put that. Then it's an illegal document and you can't do what you wanted to do. You have to use its legal name.
It's just like renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Nobody calls it the Gulf of America. Everybody still calls it the Gulf of Mexico.
The Gulf, formerly known as the Gulf of Mexico.
Right. Here's a good one about Ohio. I like this. Do you see it?
Will Ohio wake up and quit selling land to big tech, increasing taxes, utility bills, etc.?
No.
I hear yes, but it's going to take about 5 years.
Yeah, not right now.
Yeah, no, not it's going to take a while, maybe 5 to 10 years for them. And we're seeing this across the country. It's not just in Ohio, it's happening everywhere where these we've got a major kerfuffle happening here in North Louisiana where they have bought up huge portions of land that they're making into some kind of a warehouse districting thing to hold equipment and whatnot. And right now they are like cutting off the roads for the farmers and the ranchers in the area to get to and from where they need to get to their land. They're using up the water so that they don't have water for their crops or for their livestock. And people are pissed off down here about that big time.
At some point, I see Ohio going purple a lot sooner than later. And once y'all got rid of that governor in Louisiana, I see a Democrat winning down there too, because a lot of folks in Louisiana have had it with what's going on. Here's a good one. This is a good one.
Yeah, I mean, Trump is threatening Canada again. Will Canada fall into a vassal state as per project? No. Canada is getting stronger and stronger and stronger every day that he does his crap. They are in the process of signing major trade bills with other countries that completely cut us out of the flow of things now. Mexico is doing the same thing. I mean, basically, he's making it to where by the time he is and his folks are gone, the U.S. is not going to have any leg to stand on for trade deals or anything else because we're going to be cut out of all of the negotiations of that. I mean, we're going to be. He just issued a 50. I don't know if it was million or billion. I don't remember which letter it was, but Trump just issued a big thing for a bailout for the farmers. It was like, well, that's nice, but you're the one that sold them down the river to begin with. I mean,
it's not. They're not gonna. It's not going to be a vassal state as per Project 25. It'll never happen.
No.
Susan Rotella just gave $20 and
I
Rose
see
gave
that.
$1.
Thank you. And Rose gave $5. Thank you. Thank you.
Somebody put in the comments, I call her Aline Habubba because that's what she's full of, Habubba. Alina, whatever her name is. Or that she responded, Arthur, you said something before the show that, wait a minute, I mean, that she resigned today. And Arthur, you said something before the show.
How
Wait a
can you
minute.
resign from a job that's not yours?
How can you resign from a job that you just got kicked out of? Hello.
Legally.
Well, she never officially had the job.
Right.
Legally, she wasn't allowed to be in that position.
Right. Wow.
Does Walmart still have people as greeters? Maybe there's a job for her.
No, nobody would want her there either.
No.
I got a funny feeling her law license is going to be sanctioned for this charade. We'll see.
Same with Pam Bondi. Yeah.
Oh, Pam Bondi is going to go to jail for obstruction of justice and for abuse of power. And
yeah, absolutely.
I'm still waiting for that cross to sear itself into her flesh.
Her and Carolyn Levitt both.
Well, I've got an appointment coming up, people, so I'm going to have to leave soon.
Wow, we've already been over an hour here. So,
how about if we answer two more? Then we'll do this one and one more. How's that?
Okay.
Will 45 be the last president to live in the White House because the building is so compromised?
No, ballroom finished, and they'll tear it down at some point, or make it a museum and say, because that ballroom is going to be even bigger than the White House. I'm like, what?
It's not. I don't see it's going to be built. I'm sorry.
It's not going to be.
No, and I've been getting that they're going to just turn the White House into a museum and then build a separate living quarters for future presidents, first families,
See, I disagree. They'll still live in the White House. I don't see that ballroom built. If it is, it'll be torn down.
And I see the East Wing being reconstructed.
Yeah.
Right.
Although still working it and everything, but I think they might. I just keep getting that there's a strong possibility they'll build living quarters separately from the White House.
I keep on thinking that, I said on the show yesterday that, the Taj Mahal is a
tomb.
It's a tomb. So maybe that's what ballroom ends up being.
The ballroom? No. If anything,
I can hear its own ballroom blitz every time you say ballroom.
Finish and they don't tear it down. What they would do at some point would make it a monument to all of those people who were illegally rounded up and sent off, and make it a monument to all those people who were discriminated against and treated so poorly.
Yeah.
They'll tear it down.
Last question here. Laura in Austin. The wonderful dim Sherrod Brown is running for Senate in Ohio. I would love to see him return to politics. A legend. Does he have a chance to come back?
Yes.
I'm hearing yes very clearly.
What do you get, Arthur?
I got a yes on it as well.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, guys, we've been here an hour and 9 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. So sorry we weren't able to get to everyone's questions, but we'd be here till next week if we
got a lot of them.
All the questions.
We got a
lot of questions tonight. Yes, we did.
Mel and I are back tomorrow night on Aloha Tuesday.
That's right. And I'll be backstage funneling those questions out. So,
what happens on
back tomorrow?
Night? What happens on Tuesday night? Aloha Tuesday.
Yes. Actually, I thought today was Tuesday. I was frantically, oh my God, I get the day job.
That's what I was thinking. It was like, because I took the day off Saturday, but then I had Sunday and today off. I'm thinking, today's Tuesday. And then I thought, today's not Tuesday.
I know. And I'm like, oh, wrong show. It's Sherry's show tonight.
It's Sherry's show tonight. It'll be Arthur's show tomorrow night,
Yes.
and then Mel's show next week. So,
All right. Thank you, Sherry.
thank you, everybody. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me here a couple of times a month. I really appreciate it.
And remember, everybody, ice is melting.
It's melting. That's right. It's gone. Bye-bye.
There you go.
Shaking us.
All right. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week.